What's up, guys? Welcome to this edition of a Funko Popcast. I am DK Wrestler.
And I'm MD Shady.
And in today's podcast, it is all about Funko Soda figures. It is basically Q3 2023 reveal. So anything that was announced in the months of July, August, and September will be featured on this podcast. And let me tell you, Q3 has been pretty fire for the most part, considering that we will be talking about both the San Diego Comic-Con and the recently announced New York Comic-Con soda exclusives. There's also some cool comments. There are a couple of duds, and we'll mention about them. But nonetheless, overall, Q3 has been pretty sweet, nonetheless, especially how it ended off also. So without further ado, I guess I will talk about in each section the months of soda. So we're going to talk about July 2023's Funko Soda announcements. So first off, July 5th, we have ourselves a couple of Stranger Things sodas. First, Barb with an upside down chase, and then Hopper with a hat chase, which Barb was limited to 8,500 pieces, and Hopper is limited to 9,000 pieces. Then we got ourselves the Nun with a scary face chase, limited to 12,000 pieces. Keely from, I believe it is Ted Lasso she is from, with a Diamond Collection chase, limited to 7,500 pieces. Then on July 7th, Funko had announced the Garfield summer-themed soda as a part of the Fun on the Run exclusives with a flock chase. That is limited to 30,000 pieces. And then also on that same day, various retailers announced some of the Blue Beetle Funko sodas, that being Blue Beetle with a glow-in-the-dark chase, Carapax with an unmasked chase, Jamie Reyes with an object chase, and then Nana with headphones chase exclusive to Amazon, in which all of these are no-piece count Funko sodas. And then ranging from July 10th, 12th, and 14th were all of the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive sodas that were announced. So first off, we have Reptar from Rugrats with a purple chase, limited to 9,500 pieces. And then we got ourselves Johnny Lawrence and Dana LaRusso from Cobra Kai, both of them with a pose chase, and both of them being limited to 8,500 pieces. And then we have ourselves Jessica Rabbit with a Diamond Collection chase from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, limited to 12,500 pieces. A Snorkel Freddy Funko with a Blacklight chase, limited to 13,000 pieces. Retro Tony the Tiger with the surfboard chase, limited to 10,500 pieces. A 3-liter Darth Vader from Star Wars with a translucent chase, limited to 8,500 pieces. And then that's it for San Diego Comic-Con. But then the last soda reveal for the month of July happened on July 26th with Velma from Scooby-Doo with a magnifying glass chase, limited to 7,500 pieces. So I guess kicking off with the Stranger Things sodas, there are some ups and downs. I mean, Stranger Things getting more sodas to be expected. They make so many pops, so it's obviously expected for them to do sodas. But were these the right chases to do? Not necessarily. Like, I understand about Barb's because she went into the upside down. And then Hopper's is just kind of that situation about the very first Hopper pop where the chase is just god awful. And it's kind of like that same situation. I believe it is the other way around, though, where now the no hat is the common and the hat is the chase. Was it really necessary? I don't think so. I think you could have done the chase very differently, even if the chase was a common and then you did some sort of other Hopper as the chase. Then we have the Nun Funko Soda, which at least the scary face chase, I feel like is the one you would rather want than just non-scary face. And I think they did that with the common and chase with like the Nun Funko Pop, or at least it was two separate pops. But with the soda, I guess that's all right. Keely from Ted Lasso, and this is all right, I guess. And did it really have to be glitter for the hair? I don't think so. I mean, the outfit and possibly the earrings would have been good enough, but just adding it even on the pants also, I don't know. There's just, once again, it's our gripe about too much glitter on a Diamond Collection pop, and this is a prime example of it. Then we have the Garfield Funko Soda, and this is all right. I mean, it fit the theme of the San Diego Comic-Con because it released in the summer, or at least in the month of July, for the Fun on the Run that led up to San Diego Comic-Con, and the chase is flock. So I guess that's also something you'd rather want, is a flock chase on a cat. The Blue Beetle Funko Sodas, and I couldn't give two shits about these. I mean, like, already I hate the pops. let alone the Funko Sodas that you just have a glow-in-the-dark chase for one. The Carapax is all right, and then the Jamie Reyes is probably one of the worst sodas I've ever seen. And then you have the Nana soda, which I guess is all right because they haven't made a Nana Funko Pop yet, or at least as of the recording of this podcast, who knows. Then going to the San Diego Comic-Con Funko Sodas, Reptar is pretty cool. It makes sense because they did this with the Common and Chase Funko Pop, where one was obviously green and then the other was purple. I kind of wish, though, that maybe they would have added the cereal bowl for the Chase like they did with the Funko Pop for one of the exclusives, at least, just to make it a little different instead of the same molding, but with purple coloring. Or maybe they should have added glow in the dark also. Then the Cobra Kai sodas. I'm a little iffy on these. It's cool to see some Cobra Kai products, but I felt like the chases definitely could have been different. I think it's a little bit lackluster, even though it is some cool posing. It's just, I don't know. I felt like there definitely should have been something different with these. The Jessica Rabbit soda, I think it was to be expected that I think the only way they probably could have made the chase is Diamond Collection. And I mean, nonetheless, this is actually like a perfect amount of glitter, unlike the Keeley Funko soda that I talked about a bit ago. Then the Snorkel Freddy Funko. This is actually pretty cool, and the black light effect is pretty cool as terms to the colorway. And then we have the Tony the Tiger soda, and there was a lot of mixed hype. People were like, yeah, Tony the Tiger soda, but then they're like, oh, we want OG Tony the Tiger soda, and then talking about how this isn't a flock chase. And I'm actually glad that this is not a flock chase because of the fact that when Funko does decide to do a regular Tony the Tiger soda for, I guess it wouldn't be the classic because technically this is classic with the retro, but the current look, then they could pull off the chase being flocked on that instead of doing it with this, where this one you actually have a different molding where he's holding the surfboard behind him. So I think that's pretty cool for this. And nonetheless, I mean, I do like the look personally of classic Tony the Tiger more than the current one, although I do wish it's flocked, but at the same time, I like the decision of not being flocked and that you're doing something a little bit different with the common and the chase. Then the 3-liter Darth Vader. Now, I hate the idea, obviously, of Funko sodas that are 3 liters that they already made from the regular version, which I will get into, especially when we talk about New York Comic Con sodas. But with this one, at least they made the molding different and the chase different. Instead of the original one, it was just a glow-in-the-dark chase. This time, they actually changed the molding up and they made it translucent as if it were a hologram. So I do like that effect, and I contemplated on getting this, and I'm still contemplating on getting this, but it would have to be at like a really decently low price and not a really high secondary market price for me to get it. And then we have the Velma Funko soda, and that's pretty decent. I mean, Velma, I believe, was not featured in the original Scooby-Doo soda 6-pack, so that's pretty cool that we have her here for just a regular Funko soda. And I guess it does make sense, though, for her to have the magnifying glass as a chase, even though it's a slight molding difference. It's something that you think of when it comes to Velma. So I feel like it's a chase that is worth desirable to get.
All right, so starting off with the Stranger Things sodas, we have Barb. I like this. I think that the chase could have been better, though. I think the subtle change of color is not quite enough. I wish it would be more like the mystery mini that we've seen back in the day, where you kind of get a little bit more. The attire is a lot different and it looks like she's kind of dying, I guess. Whereas this one, it's just not quite good enough, but the common itself is fairly decent. And then we have the Hopper, and I like the common. I don't love the chase. I wish the chase could have been just a Hopper from a different season. I think that that would have been better. But again, the common, I do kind of like that. And then we have the Nun. This is a really cool looking Funko soda. Though the chase is a little lackluster, I do think that that is the one to go for, but I wish they could have done something, whether they would have made it like glow in the dark as well as the face change. I think that that would have brought the chase to a whole higher level than what it's kind of sitting at right now. Next, we have Keeley, and this is okay. Like DK said, there's way too much glitter on the chase, so I feel like the common is kind of the one to go for again. Then we have the Garfield, and this is pretty cool. I like the summer theme to this. I think that that's really cool. And I like the common, how you have flocking to it as well as you get like the scuba gear, or at least the like goggles. I think that that's really cool. So it's not just a flocked chase. Though the one gripe I do have with this is that I wish the common had sunglasses, because that's what you see on the picture on the front of the can. Then we have the Blue Beetle sodas, and these are pretty brutal. I mean, the Blue Beetles pops are not selling well. They're sitting on shelves, and I feel like these sodas are going to do the same thing, especially considering they're no piece count. So there's probably going to be a ton of these, and you're going to see them a whole lot. Then we have Reptar, and this is pretty cool. It's nice to see a Reptar soda. I like the chase, how it's purple, though I wish we could have got maybe a little bit more, like DK said, with the cereal bowl, or if we could have seen some kind of change to it. Maybe he had a Reptar bar, something like that. And then we have the Cobra Kai sodas, and the chases are a little lackluster, though they do make sense because those are the respected things for each dojo. But I don't know, I still really like these. I think I'll probably buy one of each of these cans, and if I get the common or the chase for either, I'll just be happy with those. Then we have Jessica Rabbit, and this one is pretty great. The common itself looks really good, and then the chase is amazing as well, where you do have that diamond collection dress, and yeah, she's looking pretty good. I like this soda. And then we have the Snorkel Freddy Funko, and I like this. This is okay, fits the vibe for summer. The chase, I think, is god awful, honestly. It doesn't really look like a blacklight soda to me. I don't know if it's because the skin color is like so light. I think that they should have maybe went with the yellow skin tone for this, which you see a lot of times with blacklight pops. Then we have the retro Tony the Tiger, and this is great. The common is pretty dang sweet. And then the chase is cool where you get the surfboard, where we also just seen the Tony the Tiger with the surfboard for the pop. So it kind of goes hand in hand with that, which is really, really cool. This is a great soda that I think I'll end up picking up one of these eventually. Then we have the 3-liter Darth Vader. Yeah, I'm not loving the fact that Darth Vader doesn't need to be a 3-liter soda, but I do think that in person, this probably looks really cool because he's large. There's a lot more room to put details in, especially with all those little details on like his circuit board and the buttons that he has on his chest there. And then the chase, I actually think that that's pretty cool. I like the translucent chase, as well as it's also like a pose change because he does have his fist up rather than just having his lightsaber out. And then lastly, we have Velma, and I think this is a really solid soda. I think that this looks great. I like the common, how you have her with her finger pointing up, basically where she'd be saying like jinkies. And then the chase, of course, with the magnifying glass. It's a little different, but both work and both kind of are good examples of what Velma should look like when you're making a figure of her.
All right, so now we're going to move on to August 2023 reveals, which there weren't as many, I believe, as there was for July and I believe September. But nonetheless, starting off August 2nd, Funko had confirmed on their website of 2 new 3-liter sodas. First off, we have a 3-liter Bumble for the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer lineup with a flock chase that's limited to 5,000 pieces. And then a 3-liter Maui from Moana, which has a blue translucent chase limited to 7,500 pieces. Then on August 6th, the Everett Aqua Sox had confirmed a Freddy Funko as baseball player soda, which has a different attire for a chase. I believe the common is like gray outfit and then the chase is white, or it's the other way around. I'm not exactly sure. Then on August 9th, Funko had confirmed a couple more Funko sodas on their website. First off is a Funko Shop exclusive Naruto Uzumaki from Naruto with a glow-in-the-dark chase, limited to 25,000 pieces. And then Tapatio Man for the Ad Icons lineup with a Diamond Collection chase that's going to be limited to 20,000 pieces. And then a common Funko soda of Hatchbox Ghost from Haunted Mansion with a glow-in-the-dark chase, limited to 13,000 pieces. Then on August 23rd, various retailers had confirmed Funko sodas of Dr. Alan Grant from Jurassic Park with a glasses chase limited to 12,000 pieces, the Joker from the 1960s animated Batman series with a metallic chase limited to 9,000 pieces, XLR8 from Ben 10 with a glow-in-the-dark chase limited to 8,000 pieces, and then we got Kakashi with energy that's exclusive to the Funko Shop, limited to 25,000 pieces. And then last but not least, for August, it was confirmed on Funko's website of another Blue Beetle soda with a glow-in-the-dark chase that will be exclusive to Walmart. All right, so kicking off with the 3-liter Bumble, and this is an example of a character that I felt should have never had the normal Funko soda treatment and should have always started and been only a 3-liter soda. And the thing that I do respect about this, once again, is that they actually made the soda completely different from the original soda. It's a different posing, and the chase is different because I believe the chase was like glitter or diamond collection for the original one, while this one has a flock chase. So I do like how they put effort into actually changing the mold and changing the chase And then we have Maui from Moana, and this is pretty interesting. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first Moana Funko Soda. I don't remember if there was any in the past, but this is pretty cool. Obviously, it makes sense. It's The Rock's character, so it's going to sell pretty decently. The overall design, and I think I can see why they made it a 3 liter, is to also bring up the details of the tattoos that he has. That looks cool. And then, especially the translucent chase, I'm not sure if this is going to be a hit or miss, because there's been a couple of instances where we've gotten that blue translucent chase with like Chili Willy, which I felt didn't look as good as the glam shot showed. But then you had, I believe it was the Space Ghost from the Fun on the Run that we actually talked about on the last soda pod, and that the blue translucent chase was actually perfected to the way that it should have been with Chili Willy. So this is kind of like, is it going to be that hit or is it going to be a miss? So hopefully it does look as good as we are looking at with the glam shot right now. And then the baseball Freddy Funko, it's not too bad. I mean, it's cool that we have it here for the Aqua Sox, and it's only limited to 4,000 pieces. So it is a pretty decent limited piece count for a soda. And then we have Naruto here, Funko Shop exclusive. This isn't too bad. And I actually forgot that there was also another Naruto soda already for, I believe it's Boruto. And then they might have made one for the regular Naruto also. Then we got the Tapatio Man. This isn't too bad. I mean, it makes sense that they make it a soda, but I'm not sure if they should have made it as a Diamond Collection chase. I mean, they did that with the Pop. They made a regular and a Diamond Collection. And then we have the Hatchbox Ghost from Haunted Mansion. And this is pretty decent. And I think obviously the glow-in-the-dark aspect definitely makes sense because it is a ghost. You still retain that colorway with both the common and the chase, but you get that nice pop-up of the glow when you have the chase. And then we have Dr. Alan Grant from Jurassic Park. I mean, it definitely makes sense that they made a soda here, considering this year is the 30th anniversary of Jurassic Park, but they definitely could have made the chase so much better instead of just adding sunglasses. It's like not even worth getting the chase because, like, do you really need the sunglasses? Not necessarily. I think what they should have done maybe is even do the slightest pose change where, like, maybe it's the beginning of the movie where he's holding the baby dino or he's holding a flare, something a little bit different to where it's worth getting the chase instead of, oh, I'm getting it for the sake of a pair of sunglasses. And then we have the 1966 Joker, and this is pretty decent. We've already had like Heath Ledger Joker and then the 1989 Joker. So this is kind of the other Joker that a lot of people do think of like as one of the greatest Jokers of all time. Having it as a metallic chase, I don't know if I like it or not. I mean, it does look nice with the purple effect and especially the hair. And then we have XLR 8 for Ben 10, and this is pretty unique. We've already gotten a couple of Ben 10 Funko Sodas as it is with Ben 10 or Ben Tennyson, I believe it is. And then we had, I can't remember the name, but we talked about it on the last soda pod also. But at the same time, we're getting Ben 10 sodas. Where are the Ben 10 pops besides just Swamp Fire? Then we have Kakashi from Naruto, and this is pretty decent. And I like the way they pull off the chase compared to the Naruto Funko Shop exclusive we just talked about, where you have the energy in the hand, and also you have a difference with the head sculpt where you do see like the bandana or headband that he's wearing, but then you also see that red color eye as you see on the Funko Pops if you're not too familiar with Naruto, especially me. So I like the difference in both the common and the chase and a little bit of a molding change. And then last but not least, I mean, I feel like in this case it would be last and least is the Blue Beetle soda that just, who the cares about this? Like, it's literally just an unmasked Blue Beetle. It's Jamie Reyes in the Blue Beetle suit, unmasked. And then it's almost identical to the chase of the other Blue Beetle soda that we talked about. This may honestly be, if we were doing a video of like the worst sodas of 2023, maybe even worst sodas of all time, this has got to be up there. Like, this is a big waste of time, especially this being a no piece count soda.
All right, so starting off with the 3-liter Bumble, this is awesome. I love this so much. Bumble is an amazing character and makes a ton of sense to be a 3-liter soda. I need to get my hands on one of these. I would love to get that Flock Chase, though that might be pricey when you're looking at secondary market value, so I might opt for the common, but who knows, but both of them are very, very great. Then we have Maui, and this is awesome as well. This is a really large character, so makes sense to be a 3-liter soda. The detail on this is great. It's kind of different than any other soda we've seen because it feels a little bit more compact. Normally you have like arms that are kind of like out to the side, but this is all kind of just one, besides compact. I don't know how to put it, but I think it looks great. The chase, I think, is a really good idea as well because of the water, of course. So yeah, this is cool. And if I could find one of these, I'd probably buy one of these as well, probably wanting to get the common. And then we have the Freddie Funko as the Aqua Sox baseball player, or at least that's what you'd think it would be called. Because if you look at the pog that we see in this picture here, where it says you found the chase, it says Freddie Funko as Aqua Sox as baseball player. What kind of grammar in the world is that? That makes no sense. It should definitely be Freddie Funko as Aqua Sox baseball player. I don't know why they threw the extra as in there, but that's just a minor gripe. This is pretty cool, especially if you are, let's say, a hardcore Freddie Funko fan, or if you are a fan of the Everett Aqua Sox. And I feel like the chase and the common are different enough where you get the different jerseys as well as the different hat. And then we have Naruto, and this is okay. The chase is a little lackluster because it's just glow in the dark, and there's not a ton that's glow in the dark. Maybe they could have made the hair also glow in the dark, and then that would have been a bit better. But nonetheless, it's still a pretty cool soda. Then we have the Tapatio Man, and the chase for this is okay, I guess, with the Diamond Collection. I like the common a lot. One thing that I really wish they would have done with this soda, though, is that they would have made the actual can itself have like a bottleneck so it looks more like the hot sauce itself. I think that would have been a really cool idea. And then we have the Hatbox Ghost, and this is okay. I feel like the common and the chase are just so similar, but I feel like people are going to want to get that chase because the glow should be pretty cool on this because it's all kind of one solid color. Then we have Dr. Alan Grant. This is a pretty solid figure, but like TK said, the chase is horrid on this. I mean, just adding sunglasses is such a cheap way out. There could have been such a really good chase to go along with this common, but unfortunately we got this. And then we have the Joker, and this is really solid. I like this. It looks a lot like the actor who played the Joker in this version of Batman. So this is cool. And the chase, I like it as well. I like the metallic because that's what you did see with the 87 or 86 Batman. So that's really cool. Yeah, I don't know. I like this. I think I might end up picking one of these up. And then we have the XLR8 from Ben 10. This is pretty cool. The chase is interesting the way that the glow happens on the face. I don't know. I might end up grabbing one of these as well if I do end up finding one. And then we have Kakashi, and this is a really sweet soda. I mean, Kakashi is a fan favorite type of character from Naruto. The common is pretty neat because you get the eyeball, which is blocked, and then when you get the chase, the headband is pulled up so that eye is revealed, and then the body mold is essentially different as well because you do have that like energy in his hand. This is really cool. It makes it so that the entire chase is different from the common, and that's a great thing to see. And then we have the Blue Beetle, and yeah, this is ridiculous. Not only is this just not very hype, the head is the exact same as the head sculpt that you see on the Jamie Reyes. It's literally the exact same head. So it's kind of like they just threw together pieces just to get another soda out. And again, the no piece count, these are going to sit around forever.
All right, so last but not least, before we go into a little impromptu top 5 list, we are talking about the September 2023 Funko Soda reveals, and there was a lot of bangers this month compared to the last couple of months. So starting off, September 6th, Funko announced on their website of a Funko Shop exclusive Marty McFly from Back to the Future, which has a Diamond Collection chase limited to 12,000 pieces. Then on September 14th, GameStop had announced their own exclusive soda of Tails from Sonic the Hedgehog, which has a flock chase limited to 14,500 pieces. Then on September 17th, various retailers announced a soda of Sasuke Uchiha with a glow-in-the-dark chase limited to 15,000 pieces. Then on September 18th, the New York Comic-Con exclusive sodas were confirmed, which first we have Sandy Claus from Nightmare Before Christmas with a list chase limited to 16,500 pieces. Momo Yaoyorozu from My Hero Academia with a Diamond Collection chase limited to 16,000 pieces. Lord Zed from Power Rangers with a metallic chase limited to 13,000 pieces. Halloween Stitch from Lilo and Stitch with a glow-in-the-dark chase limited to 17,000 pieces. A 3-liter Willy Wonka with a Wonka bar chase limited to 5,000 pieces. A Freddy Funko in costume with a black light chase limited to 15,000 pieces. And then we have ourselves Alan Frog and Edgar Frog from the Lost Boys, both with muddy chases and limited to 5,000 pieces. Then on September 21st, the Funko Shop had announced a 6-pack of Funko Sodas for X-Men 97, which we got ourselves Magneto with an outfit chase, Jean Grey with a glow-in-the-dark chase, Gambit with a glow-in-the-dark chase, Cyclops with a glow-in-the-dark chase, Wolverine with a Logan chase, and then Storm with a glow-in-the-dark chase, all limited to 12,000 pieces. And then today, as we're recording this podcast, September 29th, Funko had confirmed on their website of another 6-pack of sodas, and that is for Power Rangers, which we have the black, blue, green, pink, red, and yellow Ranger with blacklight chases limited to 15,000 pieces. So starting off with the Marty McFly Funko Soda. Now, I do enjoy the way that this soda looks because, of course, this is Marty McFly at the Enchantment Under the Sea dance during the first movie. With this soda, I'm not hyped about the chase at all being glitter. I think I can see where Funko was going with this because of the fact of maybe like it's the 50s in that movie. So maybe they're kind of going with like a grainy effect of like you're watching 50s television and it's not like crystal clear. But I think, and a lot of people were mentioning about this, and when I seen this, I'm like, that would have been a genius idea, is if they would have made it more of a partially translucent chase, because of course in this scene, it's hard for him to play guitar because he's like basically becoming non-existent. So if they would have done that, maybe like his hand is partially translucent and then he's holding the photo in his hand also, I think this would have been like through the roof and been such a great soda. But nonetheless, I think at some point I will get this soda, but it's going to be one of those cases as I'm going to wait until someone sells it for like $10 for the common at a toy show, and that's when I'm going to pick it up. Then we got the Tails Funko Soda, and this is a wicked idea. I love the fact that they are continuing Sonic the Hedgehog sodas because we haven't gotten any since the OG Sonic the Hedgehog soda with the Flock Chase, and that's the trend here with Tails now, which makes sense that they did Tails before, of course, my boy Knuckles, but that just means that at some point we will get a Knuckles soda, and that will be banger. And already this looks pretty cool, and it's so weird to see the way that the eyes look, but that's pretty much like accurate to Tails, so that's pretty cool. And then I love the idea of the Flock Chase. I think my only gripe though is I wish maybe they would have made the tail more of like a circle if it was spinning to add more to it than just a Flock Chase. But nonetheless, I mean, you're gonna want to get that Flock Chase. Then we have Sasuke from Naruto, and this is pretty decent. It's the same thing that I mentioned with Kakashi, where it is slightly different molds, and you're adding more as terms to the different eye colors and the glow-in-the-dark specification. So I do enjoy that about this soda. And then the New York Comic Con sodas, the Sandy Claus is pretty cool because we never got Sandy Claus before. So it's not just like, let's take an existing character, add blacklight to it or something. And then especially you're adding stuff to it with like the Santa Claus hat and then the list. Then Momo Yaoyorozu, I was really pumped about this considering like we haven't gotten really any My Hero Academia Comic Con exclusives for a little bit now. Like I think the last time we actually got one besides this was that Spinner Funko Pop from the Winter Con at the end of last year. Other than that, we haven't really gotten any My Hero Academia stuff, whether it's pops or sodas, but I like the idea if now for Comic-Cons, they start doing sodas instead of pops because there's just so many pops at this point, and I feel like sodas could be an untapped potential for Comic-Con exclusives for My Hero Academia. Then we got Lord Zed from Power Rangers, and I feel, in my opinion, this may be the best New York Comic Con exclusive soda. I just love the overall detail, and it is the same posing for the chase, except they added the metallic specification, and with the like staff that it's in his hand or weapon, the end is on fire. So it's once again, you're adding a specification and a little bit more oomph to the chase, and that's why I think it's a little bit enjoyable, and especially it will go well with the 6-pack sodas that we're going to talk about in a little bit. Then we got Halloween Stitch. I feel like I get it. It's for the theme of Halloween. It's close for that for New York Comic Con, but I don't know. Glow in the Dark Chase, I guess it makes sense because you did it with the pop that was like pop in a box turned into Entertainment Earth, whatever it is at this point. But I don't know. I just feel it's a little meh. And then the 3-liter Willy Wonka soda. I despise this soda so much. And I mentioned in our worst to best video that out of all the New York Comic Con exclusives, whether it's pops, sodas, Biddy Pops, Blockbuster Rewind, this is the worst exclusive out of everything Willy Wonka doesn't make sense as a 3-liter soda. I get that. I think maybe they changed the posing a little bit. I think the common is a bit different from the common from the normal size one, and that the Wonka bar is actually different because I believe is more of the golden ticket for the regular one, while it's actually the Wonka bar here for the chase of the 3-liter. But Willy Wonka just has no business being a 3-liter soda at all, and I hate when Funko does this. Then we have the Freddy Funko soda here with the Halloween costume. This is pretty cool. This is kind of like the whole take on the Freddy Bones Pop, where it's wearing the mask on the side, but it's actually Freddy Funko and it's wearing some sort of mask. That's pretty cool, and I like the whole color changes in terms to the glow-in-the-dark black light effect. And then we have Lost Boy sodas. That's pretty cool, and even the muddy chases are pretty decent considering it's not just mud. You have a weapon in its hand, and it's limited to 5,000 pieces. So if you do have the chase when you get the soda and then you pull that, it's going to be worth a decent amount of money on the secondary market. And then we have ourselves the X-Men 97 Funko Soda 6-pack. And in my opinion, this easily has to be the best Funko Soda 6-pack that Funko has produced yet. Like, everything about this is absolutely amazing. I mean, the bag is pretty cool. It's very colorful, but this is what I want to see with Funko Sodas going forward, where the chases are just magnificent. I mean, Magneto, even though it is the same posing, you have a different head sculpt, you have a different outfit. Even Jean Grey is a different posing, but the hair is different, and then you also have something going on with the other hand. Gambit is slightly different because all he's doing is holding the cards, but I'd rather have that glow-in-the-dark chase than having the common there. And then Cyclops, you're adding the little, X-ray vision there going on. That's pretty cool. And then Wolverine soda has to be the best of this 6-pack, where it's Wolverine for the common and then Logan as the chase. So pretty much 2 different identities and different moldings. And then you have the Storm Funko soda, which is the only one that doesn't have a change to it besides specification, which I feel like that's okay. I don't know what they could have done as terms to posing that would have been different, but nonetheless, this is a banger soda 6-pack, and they need to keep doing this with not only 6-packs, but just regular sodas overall. And then today, the Power Rangers 6-pack got announced, and this is not too bad. I mean, I actually predicted in a video a year or 2 ago about future Funko Soda 6-packs, and I said Power Rangers with all of the Power Rangers, and it's happened. And I said it was going to be a metallic chase, but I kind of like the idea of blacklight chases a bit better. And I do like the colorway of some of them, not all of them. I do think the X-Men 97 6-pack is better, but I do think that the Power Rangers is also a pretty decent idea for a 6-pack and is pretty cool.
All right, so we have the Marty McFly with the guitar. This is an awesome soda. I think it looks great. The chase is a little lackluster with the diamond collection or glitter on it, but I also don't think it's too bad. I think this is still pretty sweet. And then we have Tails. This is amazing. It's great to see new Sonic sodas, and I think Tails makes sense to be the next soda that we see. I think it looks great. Flocked for the chase is perfect, but I do agree with DK. If it would have had the tail where Tails is essentially flying, I think that would have just made this one of the best chases we've seen in a long time. Then we have Sasuke, and this one's pretty cool as well. The chase is pretty great because the eyes change as well as being glow in the dark, and you get a little bit of a different molding with the body with the hand out. That is pretty sweet. And then we have Sandy Claus, and this is a great soda, whether it is the common or the chase. I think both are very, very good. 2 completely different figures, which is awesome to see. Just an amazing soda. And then we have Momo, and this one is pretty good as well. The chase is a little over the top with the glitter. There's a little bit too much, but overall, this figure looks pretty good, and I'm surprised to see Funko being this risky with this one. Next, we have Lord Zed, and this is a great soda as well. I think the common looks so cool, but the chase looks amazing. I mean, metallic makes a lot of sense for Lord Zed, and then the staff having the fire on top of it, that's just above and beyond. This is really cool. I'm going to have to get my hands on one of these for sure. Then we have the Halloween Stitch, and this is okay. The chase kind of makes sense having the glow beyond the skeleton parts. I don't know. I could see this kind of sitting around a little bit, but at the same time, there is so many people that collect Stitch Stitch stuff, and there's people that collect Halloween stuff as well. So you kind of have two markets there. And then next we have the Willy Wonka 3-liter soda. And yeah, this is a little bit ridiculous. I do like how the common has the edible teacup. That is just hilarious. I really enjoy that. But this does not need to be 3 liters. Though I do think that having one of these out of box and on display on like a computer desk or something would look sick. I just really enjoy the size of 3-liter sodas. I think that it would look cool, but it doesn't make sense with what we've seen for 3-liter sodas in the past. Then we have the Freddy Funko with the Dracula outfit, I guess it is. This is a pretty cool Freddy. I like this one. The common is really cool. I think I like it more than the chase, though with the chase it is glow in the dark, so that's really cool, especially with the candy basket, like jack-o'-lantern, how that's glow in the dark. That's really cool and kind of nostalgic to me. That's pretty sweet, but I do think I like the colorway better for the common. And then we have the Lost Boys sodas, and these are pretty good. Like DK said, you get the like mud splatter, but then you also get the weapon in the hand. So yeah, those chases are definitely a lot better than the common. So you like to see that. Then we have the X-Men 6-pack, and oh man, you hate to see it. You hate to see 6-pack sodas because at least here in Canada, they're harder to obtain, so it ends up costing you a pretty penny, and you hate to see it because you want it so bad, so you're going to pay that money anyways. Oh, these are great. These are just amazing. I'm going to have to get my hands on both of these 6-pack sodas that we're going to be talking about here. But starting off with the X-Men one. Oh, Magneto looks really cool. The chase is awesome as well. Jean Grey looks awesome as well. The chase is pretty decent. Gambit, love Gambit so much. That chase is phenomenal. I really enjoy that. Cyclops is great as well. I love how you have the X-ray vision kind of coming out of the visor, I guess you can call it, and then the glow in the dark on it seems like it'll be promising as well. The Wolverine is really awesome as well. The common is sweet, exactly how you would picture Wolverine, especially for X-Men 97. And then the Logan chase is phenomenal as well. And then you have Storm, and of course there is no molding change, but I think they make up for it with how much of this figure is actually glow in the dark. I think that that is really, really cool. And with these sodas, I always have the gripe of like, you buy the bag and you're only guaranteed one chase, so one of these is going to be the chase. And honestly, in my opinion, if I were to buy this bag, I would hope it would be Gambit or Storm. Though the Logan is arguably the best chase, I kind of feel like I'd want to have the Wolverine as a common if I were to just, let's say, buy one of these bags. And then moving on to the Power Rangers. This is sexy. I love the way that the bag looks for this. I love the way that each of these sodas look. The chases, however, as much as a fan of Blacklight I am, these are pretty cool, not gonna lie, but it's the same thing where if you're only buying one of these bags, you're guaranteed that one of these sodas is going to be a Blacklight. And if you're trying to display them, I think it would just be so weird if, let's say, you got the chase for the green Power Ranger and you're displaying it with the rest of them, and he just feels like the outlier. So you're kind of forced to buy a common of the green Power Ranger at some point, let's say. But overall, the blacklight on each of these figures looks really, really cool. I think personally, the Green Ranger one does look the best. And the one that I think kind of looks the worst, I would say, is the Yellow Ranger. The reason for that is because this Yellow Ranger chase reminds me so much of, forget what the actual name of the pop is, but basically like the Biohazard suit pop from the Back to the Future set. It looks so much like that, which I don't think necessarily is a bad thing, but I don't know, that one I just think isn't the best. But overall, this is a really cool bag. I love the design of the bag itself. I love the way that the common sodas look. I'm gonna have to get my hands on one of these too. It's gonna cost me a fortune for both of these bags, but I feel like it'd be worth it because these are two of the better of the 6-packs that we've seen so far.
Alrighty, so now we're going to go on to our top 5 list, and this is basically a top 5 list of our favorite sodas from this quarter. We've been doing this with the last 2 podcasts, and unlike the top 10 list that we would do, like the recent one for like our monthly discussion of the pops, instead of going back and forth, we're just going to go right through. So I'm going to go from 5 to 1 for me, and then MD's going to end off talking about his 5 instead of going 5, 5, 4, 4. You get it all the way until 1. So I'm going to start off with mine. So coming at number 5 on my list is the Funko Shop exclusive Green Ranger Funko Soda for the 6-pack. And it was very difficult. I felt like I needed to choose one of those. I feel green never disappoints when you put under a black light, even though there is a bit of pink. I think it will turn out pretty decently. And then for number 4, I picked the Funko Shop exclusive Marty McFly from Back to the Future. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Back to the Future. I am at some point will probably get this soda, but it's my gripe about how the chase is into why it is a little bit low on this list. And although, yeah, I'm not a fan of the chase, I know at some point I'm going to be getting this, unlike the Green Ranger soda. So it definitely had to rank higher on my list. Coming in at number 3 is the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Retro Tony the Tiger. This thing looks really cool. I think both the common and the chase look pretty cool, which is why I would rank it higher than Marty McFly. And I may or may not, as of the recording of this podcast, have one of those sodas on the way. So whether I open it up on a video you guys would have already seen or it's still happening, just know that at some point I will be opening up a soda like this. Coming in at number 2 on my list is the GameStop exclusive Tales from Sonic the Hedgehog. This is really cool. The overall design of both the common and the chase. The chase makes sense to be flocked. I mean, what else are you going to do besides if you somehow pull off Tails like in a flying pose, like if they added a stand to it, which would look weird because then I feel like you can definitely like feel the can of like, oh, he's in the air in this one. So I don't exactly know how they would pull that off, but flocked is definitely the safe route as terms to this soda. Coming in at number 1, I feel like there was no better soda than the Funko Shop exclusive Wolverine from the X-Men 97 set. This is a soda that is exactly what you should expect as terms to a soda. An amazing comment, of course, of Wolverine in his classic outfit, but then the chase being Logan, and it's like a completely different mold. It's a completely different persona. It looks different. You want something that's worth getting that chase. And this is a prime example of what Funko should be doing with every single soda they do, and not just sodas once in a blue moon.
All right, so now moving on to my top 5 list. Coming in at number 5, I have the Maui 3-liter soda. I think this is really cool. Obviously, he is a very large character, so it makes sense to be in a 3-liter soda. And I don't know, I think it just looks great. The detail is there. It's a lot different than any other soda we've seen, and the chase is pretty decent. I like the translucent blue. I think that makes sense because of the movie and the water and everything like that. So that's not too bad. Hopefully it does look great in person as well. Then coming in at number 4, I have the 3-liter soda of Bumble. I love Bumble, one of my favorite characters in any holiday movie. And again, makes so much sense to be a 3-liter. They probably shouldn't have made the normal soda can of Bumble because it just makes too much sense to be a 3-liter. I think it's great. Being flocked this time around for the chase is amazing, and I really hope I can get a flocked version of this figure. Then moving on to number 3, I have the retro Tony the Tiger. I love myself some ad icons, and Tony the Tiger is pretty top tier for me. And this retro version is really awesome as well. I like the way the common looks. I also like the way that the chase looks with the surfboard being held behind the back. I think that that's really cool. Then coming in at number 2, I have the GameStop exclusive Tails as well as my number 2 spot. Pretty much DK summed it up very, very well. I mean, Tails is awesome. It's awesome to see new pops for, or not new pops, but new sodas for the Sonic, I guess, lineup. Tails is wicked. I love the flock chase. I think that that makes so much sense. And I probably will end up picking one of these up at some point. And then coming in at number 1 on my list, I have the Gambit from the X-Men 97 6-pack. I love Gambit so much, and I think that this chase makes so much sense. If I were to buy one of these bags, I would really hope that it'd be the Gambit. I love how you have the cards in his hand. I like the energy around it. I like how it's glow in the dark. It makes so much sense. And again, it is that case of like, if you're buying one of these bags, you kind of want to get a chase that's not going to stand out from the rest of them. So you can display all 6 of these figures together and not have one of them kind of just be like an outlier. You never want to see that. And I think that with Gambit, you definitely don't get that. And that's great. I love this soda.
All right, so that is going to be the end of this edition of a Funko Podcast. If you enjoyed this all soda edition of a Funko Podcast, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know in the comment section below what sodas you've liked this past quarter. And we hope to see you guys on another edition of a Funko Podcast or just video in general on our channel. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here.
Guess you guys aren't ready for that yet, but your kids are going to love it. Peace in, peace out.